Everybody, welcome back to another webinar. So today, again, we're going to be breaking down gold. We're going to be breaking down GJ. I do see some potential interesting moves within gold and GJ. So gold, as we discussed previously, it did actually break above 1946 resistance. But if you pay attention to like the hour time frame, the 30-minute time frame, this is something that we had spoken about previously, where we want to kind of wait for that 4-hour rejection first on the higher time frame of this area, because you could see something like this play out where it's almost some form of a fake out, where it looks like pricing continue to go down. So for those of you who remember the last webinar, what we waited for, what we stated was, okay, what we got to wait for is, let's say this candlestick closes above, we need another candlestick to close back above our level of resistance to then look to go long, vice versa on the short side of things, right? So that's exactly what happened here on this 4-hour time frame. Now, going into more relevant price action, the only thing about looking to buy gold is that if you pay attention to this daily time frame, it does look like momentum is actually slowing down. Notice how also the previous daily candlestick failed to actually close above the high of the previous day, which isn't something that I typically like to see when I want to see momentum continuing to hold up. Now, in terms of buyers, right, the one good thing that we're looking at here is that price did ultimately close above 1960 resistance. Now, if we break this down to a lower time frame, what we could see kind of playing out here is a potential break and retest setup here for, let's call it, London session. Really, at this point in time, what I would like to wait for would be some form of a better confirmation, like a bullish engulfing on this 4-hour time frame. Also, if we look at market structure, what we have is higher high, higher low, higher high, and this could potentially be our next higher low. Now, let's say price does actually give us this higher low. Where could we potentially travel up to? The first area I'm going to be looking for is going to be roughly this area over here, where we have previous resistance and we have previous support. So I'm going to be looking for price to travel back up into 1974.76, let's call it, which is roughly about 89 pips away. And really, if you want to play it aggressive, you could start looking for an entry because we're close to support, but that's not something I would recommend. I rather kind of always sit it out. What I'm going to be waiting for personally is maybe some form of a double bottom off this area on this 30-minute time frame where I could then look to buy. Because realistically, let's say if you're going to look to buy back up into this resistance level, you buy right here, you put your stop loss under support, and then you take profits here. You're just barely squeezing in 2 times your risk. Now, it's not even just that, because risk reward ratio, even though it's acceptable, it's not what we typically want to always be targeting, right? Now, what we have to also pay attention to is the timing. It's only 10 o'clock at night. There's realistically not much volume that we're going to see in the markets now. Sometimes Asian session has a lot of volume, but not always. So, the odds are kind of stacked against our favor right now. So in a situation like this, I'd rather wait for price to actually, do its thing, and then hopefully look for some form of a pullback, give us a double bottom, where we could then look to enter a lot closer on this level of support, maybe have our stops down here and our targets up here. Now, all I've simply done is increase our risk or increase our reward while decreasing our risk at the same time, because trading right now at this time would be something that's a little bit more riskier. Although gold could play out and just go straight to this area here, that's not something I'd be comfortable putting good money behind. So that's what I'm going to be kind of paying attention to on gold over the next few hours. Also, again, notice resistance. Resistance is currently holding as newfound support. So the probability for gold up is a lot higher than gold continuing to just start continuing to trade bearish. Now, if price were to break above this area, all you simply have to ask yourself is, where can we see price travel to next? And this is kind of like a clear highway from 1974 to 2000. Right here, there's not really much stopping it. So if price does break above 1974, we could see push to 2000. Now, GJ is a little bit more interesting. So last few days on GJ had actually rejected 163.893. Now, with this momentum and with price currently holding on this weekly time frame and on the daily time frame, GJ I see definitely coming up for a retest of this area of resistance. Notice how a few weeks ago price up came, retested this or tested this area of resistance, and we saw big selling pressure off of this area where we had a big move to the downside. Pretty much this is This was a take profit area, as you can see. So this was like a 160 pip move. So what I'm going to be waiting for on GJ tonight is actually looking to potentially go short on GJ here with some form of a double top pattern, probably back down into this area of support or down into this area of resistance here on the 4-hour time frame. Because again, if I'm going to be waiting for that double top pattern, what I'm going to be waiting for is for all these candlesticks to play out. I'm going to look for some form of a bullish candlestick with a big rejection. And then if I'm feeling aggressive, I'll take the trade right then and there. If I want to be a little bit more conservative, I'll wait for that engulfing candlestick, which would be a stronger sell signal for me to actually look to go short. Because again, when I have more confirmations, the probability for the trade to play out in my favor is a lot higher, which I'll then look to take a trade then and there as well, look to target this area down here first. This is all based off the higher time frames. Lower time frames, obviously, I like to see price push up and give me that, I guess you could say, the second top for the double top pattern. Other than that, in terms of this setup here, let's say if I want to take the trade aggressive, I would make an entry somewhere along this area up here. Stop loss above the level of resistance. My first take profit would actually be this 4-hour low right here. Maybe somewhere between this area here, 163 flat, and then 162. 818. So we're looking at about a 2.6 to a 3.3 risk reward ratio. If price breaks that area of support, then I'm obviously going to target 162, 257, which was our previous daily highest close.
So you'll just take it back down to the neckline pretty much. Or that hour double top, right?
So,
yo, Raul, do you wait for a 4-hour close before entering like every trade, or do you like scale in on different time frames?
No, I'll wait for the 4-hour close because I like to see that 4-hour rejection first. Because once I at least see the 4-hour rejection, I'll look for an entry. And then, like, let's say, like with this 4-hour rejection here, although it's not the best, you go down to a 30-minute time frame. What you have is an entry signal here. You have that variation pattern. Then you have a pullback here, and then another variation pattern. So that's a little bit more of an aggressive way to trade, but that's just how I like trading because, again, like it increases my reward ratio.
But you just always wait for that close though on the 4-hour just to confirm.
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't know what the 4 hours is going to do. Because, like, let's say, like on gold, I was actually looking to buy yesterday, right? Imagine if I would have bought right then and there when gold actually hit my level, I would have gone and stopped out instead of just waiting for that rejection. Like, even if you go on the 30-minute time frame, right? Gold pulled all the way back, gave you that buy signal, but the 4-hour did not close. And look what happened. Gold continued to go right back down after that. So waiting for that 4-hour close would have avoided me a loss, or would have avoided you a loss if you would have bought there without waiting for the 4-hour candlestick.
What time? What time do you like? Around what time do you wait for the 4-hour close? Mostly, and during London session.
When the 4-hour closes, so the next 4-hour close is going to be about 1 a.m.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So, I was going to say something on GJ. I forgot though at this point. Other than that, does anybody have any questions?
Yo, Raul, do you ever scalp, bro, or do you just intraday trade?
Sometimes I scalp, but my like cream of the pot is just intraday trading.
And when you scalping, do you use like that's when you actually actively use lower time frames, or do you still kind of scalp off of like 4-hour levels and stuff like that?
I don't necessarily scalp like I'm on a 5-minute, looking for like a quick move because that's just not me. I rather put bigger money behind bigger moves. But what I consider a scalp would be me not holding a trade to my target. That's what I would consider a scalp. Like, my bad. But I was actually long on gold and price started pulling back and I ended up closing. So I consider that a scalp because I didn't hold to my target. Although it's not a textbook scalp, that was a scalp to me because I didn't hold to my original target, which, took a few more hours to play out. So no, like I'm not necessarily like, just paying attention to the lower time frames because on the lower time frames, you're going to see way more noise and more detail than you actually need to see.
Yo, Raul, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I did my first successful trade today, and it looked like what price was doing was consolidating for like 5 hours because I got from the signal room over at around 345. I got in 4 pips higher than what the entry was, and it basically, started going in the direction for the short around like 5 hours later. So do you use the moving average as well when you're looking at the 4 hour window?
Yeah, of course, because the 4 hour moving averages pretty much shows me which side has more volume. Although in this situation, I wouldn't use the moving averages like until price were to break this area or this area, just because when price is consolidating, the moving averages are always going to cross. So I wouldn't rely on the moving averages in the consolidating area. But when price is actually trending, that's when I would look at the moving averages. Okay, we're still blue or red. Or when price changes in moving averages like this, it's like, okay, we could see a shift in trend.
Okay. Yeah, no, because when I was putting my stop loss, what happened the last few days is I had my stop loss really small and it didn't even hit take profit one. And so I made my stop loss a lot bigger. But I'm trying to think of so what I had done was I set it around 163 752 as the stop, and I took the fourth profit at 162,900, which because it started coming down like immediately, and so it already broke the take profit one, and then it just kept going down, and it seems to be a pattern that this happens right around when New York session opens around 9, and then it closed my trade. I got profit. I was only betting. I was only trading one standard lot, to start with. So, and I'm using LQDFX as the broker, and I have a micro account. So that means I could only trade up to 5 lots, right, until I upgrade to a ECN.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. I mean, right? Is that because like my leverage is set to 1 to 100?
I don't know how that broker works. Typically, like on any other broker or even on the broker I'm trading right now, you can just deposit, whatever your deposit's going to be. You can have either one of 100 or one of 500.
Okay. Yeah, no, what I did was I did them and I went to Coinbase and I bought US Tether, like Ethereum, and then I transferred it.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick. I first did Bitcoin, but it took a while, but then finally the Tether came through quicker. So, I had some losses because I, still trying to understand everything, but that's pretty much because I was looking at the 30-minute time frame for most of of the trade, and it looked like price was going sideways up until around, like I said, about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Put the trade in, and so you don't. I mean, when you're in the trade like that, because you said let price breathe, and I think that's what actually made this work today. But when I'm trying to calculate, because what I did is I risked 38 pips and I made a profit on short at 48 pips.
Okay.
So, but is that
about a 1-to-1?
That's a 1-to-1, right? Yeah. So as far as the percentage, though, when I looked at it, it said like 0.23. Is that the number we're supposed to look at? That's less than 1%, right? No,
because the way MetaTrader calculates it is different from the way like your monetary gain or value is. So you got to look at it from where you set your stop loss. That's all the math that you have to do before you enter the trade. So
right.
Your stop loss is, example, 10 pips, and you have $3,000 in your trading account. At a 1% risk, you can only lose $30.
I see.
So you got to adjust the lot size for that. So I believe that's about 0.30 lots.
Okay.
$30 every 10 pips, or losing $30 every 10 pips.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. If I increase my lot size, right now I'm risking about up to $500 a day, and to just like practice with, but actually like my own money. And I made a little profit today, but the last few days, there was a loss, but gained back most of it in yesterday's trade. So I'm hoping today's trade is good. So you're thinking we're gonna go short again?
Potentially, if price could reject 163,868, then yes, I'll be looking to go short. If price breaks above 164, I'll probably look for buys.
Okay. So when I put it in MetaTrader, I was told by the broker that I have to put. Well, I was originally doing buy stops, and that's what was screwing me up. So now I just do market execution, so I don't have to really worry about getting in like 2 or 3 pips higher or below, right?
Of course.
Okay. And so I mean, it's not like I'm gonna sleep on this. 'Cause I don't know what like you and AB do. Like if you actually, just go to sleep and let stop loss do its thing and then take profit.
Yeah, no, you don't do that when you're scalping.
That's what I figure. So you're just watching it. Yeah. Because like I said, I took the profit, and if I would have, just waited for like, take profit 5, it would have, because it started going back up.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Yo, Raul, bro.
It's good, bro.
Yo, you be like I know people set their TPs and stuff like that, but like you be maintaining like your trade on like smaller time, like if it break on like
Nah, because if I enter like on a 30-minute or an hour, I'll maintain it on the hour. Because
yeah,
it does, because I'm pretty based off the hour.
Yeah, that's basically what I was asking. If you stay on that time frame or you like maintain it on a smaller time frame, that's what I was asking.
Nah, once you get on a smaller time frame, you're gonna see a lot more details, and then you're gonna start overthinking the trade too much.
Yeah, and then scare yourself out of it. All right, but
any other questions?
Hey, Raul. Yeah, can you break down your gold trade you saw yesterday, if by chance?
So basically, what I did was on gold hour time frame. Literally, right once price gave me this bullish variation pattern, closing back above resistance, closing back above the moving averages, is when I took a long position. I was looking to go. This is a short. I was looking to go long from this area with a stop loss under this low, because I knew if price was going to break this low, then it's just going to keep going lower at this point. And then my target was literally right here, looking for 2 times my risk, a little bit more than that. So this was my first target, and then my second target was up here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Just like a little quick.
You didn't do anything on that breakout because there was no retest.
Say it again.
To the left, you didn't have any trades before that, prior to that breaking up to the next level.
Right here?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a trade to place here, no.
What time was that for the breakout? What's that?
This time, for this breakout, let's say loading session.
Oh, this ripping.
Yeah.
Yo, Raul,
Yeah.
why we haven't received your gold trade on the signal room?
Because something I said in the signal room too, and you can also read it in the terms and conditions, is that I have currently myself and somebody else in the gold signals, but I have somebody else calling the signals right now in the signal room, so I can focus on other things that I'm working on and not always have to be reliant on the signal room.
Raul,
Yeah.
how would you manage like GJ if you entered, considering like it is like kind of counter trend to be selling? Like how would you like get it? Would you like secure profits at a specific risk to reward, or?
So like, let's say I do take this GJ position, right? I'm going to be looking for price to come back down into this box over here, which is this entire area of support. So let's say on the hour time frame, we see this happen, right? There's a bullish candlestick, big wick, and then bearish candlestick, let's just call it. And I make an entry, let's say somewhere along this area. I'm going to place my stop loss maybe around here, right? Let's kind of adjust this a little bit, right? I'm going to place my stop loss probably around here. This is just a random example. And my target's going to be throughout this entire range. Once price is already down here at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, I may consider either moving my stop loss down a little bit more or to break even and then kind of just let it run. Ultimately, it depends on the position and how I see momentum playing out.
Okay.
But most of the times, I like to let my trade play out as much as I possibly can without interfering. Because remember, like when you move your stop loss to break even too early, you're being counterproductive. And when you move it too late, you're also being counterproductive. So it's literally all about balance, and it's something that's also very situational to me.
And would you like use lower risk if it's counter trend?
Yeah, I wouldn't go in with like a 3-4% risk. No.
All right. Thank you.
So you don't put your stop loss above the wick?
Yeah, I do, but that was just kind of like a random example.
Okay.
I was looking at it from a risk reward perspective, not like a literal, stop loss sort of perspective. Let's say realistically, this is what the entry signal looks like, right? I short here. My stop loss will be above the highest wicks here. So my stop loss will be around this area.
Yep.
Hey, Raul.
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, I know this seems fairly repetitive, but do you think you could just go like step by step regarding like your most revised, up-to-date way to finding daily zones? Because I find myself like for the most part, my daily zones are analogous to yours. But if I could kind of really, dive deep into your thought process and seeing daily zones, I know it's like simple seeing where, price reacts, but
How long?
Sorry, go ahead.
How long have you been trading?
About a year and a half now.
You're only gonna get better with it with time. Like you really don't have to stress it out so much. All you have to look at are the turning points in the market and mark those areas off. So when it came to me marking off this area, what I saw was a turning point here, 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 and with current price. So that's a zone that I'd like to mark off. Same thing over here. Price reached all the way to this area, then dropped right back down. So this is a point where the market turned, right? So when it comes down to like my zones, that's literally what I look out for. Where are my more important turning zones or turning points where I saw price go in the complete opposite direction and in the most frequent, right, which would be this area here as well. And then kind of down here as well too. But when it comes to marking off zones, like when it comes to just technical analysis in general, you will only get better with time if you show up to the market every single day, right? You're not gonna like just all of a sudden, be 100% better than what you were in the span of 24 hours,
No, yeah, 100%. I think you're very valid in what you're saying.
I wouldn't stress it too much. Literally just look for turning points. Over time, you will understand what works for you better and what, things you may be looking for a little bit more in detail.
Okay. So what about that 1930 area? If we go back a couple like hours, you see how like price wick like crazy around there?
Right here?
That wouldn't be a major zone. No, a little above, like around that area. You know how like price wick and that's on the 4-hour time zone. It's like it was going back and forth. Would that be a major zone?
Right here?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so because you want to look at like the overall median, like block out like all of the little things, right? So how I look at it is immediately when I look at the chart, right, what I see is this, right? This is what I see. So I'm going to mark that area off before I mark off anything else. I don't really see this all too much, even though this I consider to be right here.
Okay. Filter out the noise, right? Pretty much, and just look at overall structure when it comes to major levels.
Basically.
Okay, got it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Raul.
So, bro.
Hey, could you take a look at Euro USD?
So, I mean, Euro USD, like what I was talking about, I don't know how long ago, is that price is still within this bearish structure. What I was saying was pretty much as long as price maintained itself under these highs, which again, touch, gap, overlap, right? This is a gap, this is a touch, this is an overlap. Price rejected this area multiple times, right? Now, if price were to maintain this structure, the next area should automatically look for this next level of support, which price finally hit that after I don't know how many days. And I don't even think this. So 6 days it took for price to kind of get to this area from the initial move. So now, essentially, now that price is breaking under this area, what I would look for is some form of a break and a retest. So I'd look for this area to maintain as newfound resistance and then look for price to continue to go down.
Okay. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I see like a couple of entry patterns, right? let's say I see something on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minute. Is that considered one confluence or three? Hello?
Ultimately, it depends because I try and find multiple confluences on a single time frame, but like at the same time, you want to make sure all your time frames are telling you the same thing. You want to make sure the 4 hours telling you buy, the hours telling you buy, the 30 minutes telling you buy.
Okay. And if it is, then it's considered three.
I would section them off. So I have 4 confluences to buy on the 30 minute, 4 confluences to buy on the hour, 2 confluences to buy on the 4 hour. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep answering questions for the next 7 minutes. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything they want?
Yo, Raul, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's good, bro.
Yo, so I have a question about news. Say you get your gold entry during London, but there's high impact news in the morning. Do you move your stops to break even, or do you just take your profits?
It depends on where the trade currently is, along with if you're planning to hold it through a swing trade, basically, right? Because you're going to have a move during London. And if your move during London doesn't hit your target, then ultimately, I would kind of wait it out and try and push it as long as I can. But if I see price starting to pull back and go against me, then I'll close the position. Because again, like high impact news, you're going to have liquidity grabs. You're going to have a bunch of shit go down that I just don't want to be involved in.
Bet. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Raúl, what's good, kid?
What's good, bro?
Oye, nunca me mandaste la information for my daughter.
I did. I sent it to you on Discord. Your Discord's Will, right?
Yeah.
Is it just Will or is it Will One Invest?
Will One Invest.
Then no, I sent it to the wrong person.
Yeah. Hey, if I put 10K in Athens for the bot.
Okay.
I could do that, right?
No, because they don't have MT4 right now.
Oh, Athens don't have MT4?
No, I'm using MT5. Yeah, I sent it to, I don't know who William S is, but he didn't open the link, so we're good.
And what's that? That's gonna be she's gonna be able to see everything on Telegram that we get?
Yeah.
So what broker you think I should use for the bot?
Any broker that has MT4.
Recommend one for us. That's my same question.
Bro, it's just...
I mean, Carbon Capital, Osprey, what?
It's a very sensitive subject with brokerages because a lot of people say different things.
Nah, but just for the bot, though.
Yeah, I want to run the bot on it too, same way.
I've used Carbon Capital before. Nothing bad. No bad experiences. I don't like Osprey effects. Any broker you see that has the same back office as Hugo's Way, I stay away from. That's just my personal opinion, right? I know other people out here probably, trading on Osprey effects, Hugo's Way, KLT, whatever the case might be. Is I personally don't trade on those brokers because they're all owned by the main label.
Have you ever traded on KOT Forex?
I have.
Any bad experiences with it?
I just read a lot of news articles on price action manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not news articles, but people and the actual evidence.
How you feel about prosperity effects? Have you ever heard of them?
No, I never heard of them.
Traders was mine. Thanks a lot, bro.
Traders Domain I've tried out too. Wasn't a huge fan, but I don't think there's anything wrong with them either.
I like the 1 to 1,000.
Oh, you ever trade 1 to 1,000?
I have traded 1 to 1,000 before. I think it's absolutely reflecting on it now, bro, that's like stacking steroids on top of steroids on top of steroids. You could do I think you can even do $100 on a $1,000 account. You'll see that account be destroyed in a blink of an eye.
Shit.
Yo, Raul.
So, bro.
If it's not too much, could you just give a quick bias on GU?
Sure. Give me 1 second. All right, Will. I got you now.
I got it, Papa. I got it. Thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Yeah, just forward to that link. You said GU?
Yeah.
Got it.
Still in the same boat. I would wait for price, look for that break and retest to go short. I would keep looking for shorts. Thing is, like, ask yourselves, where could we see shorts to? I would say somewhere down in this range. Call it 1.2, 9,000 flat. 90,000 flat. 9,000 flat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Harold, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's good, bro?
I have a question about that 4-hour close in gold that you told us before.
Okay.
If you waited for the 4-hour close, you don't got stepped out on that one trade. But after that, the other 4-hour close was so big that maybe you have missed out the trade, right? And then it is like it is, or
yeah.
Okay. Because that's happened to me often. I waited for the 4-hour closes and then I didn't get any option to trade because it was so far away from the levels.
Yeah. Those are trades you skip because your risk reward gets absolutely destroyed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Raul, compared to your last trade that you took, so I have another issue in terms of monitoring my trades because usually during that session, I usually work. So what do you look for exactly to tell you whether to stay in the trade, to cut your losses short if it's going in a loss, or to that's basically it.
Well, remember, right? Like the way we're trading is okay. If price broke under this support level, and we're trading at this resistance level, now price is traveling to our next level of support. Our target's here. So I'm going to do my very best to wait for price to come into my next target because this is where I project the market to go to. So I'm going to do whatever it takes possible to hold to my target as best as I can because we're trying to let our winners run, right? In terms of cutting your loss short, if your entry is here and your stop is here and price action is only right here, well, first of all, you're barely up a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So there's no reason why you should be moving your stop loss to break even because the trade could come all the way up and the trade still be valid and then go down into your favor, right? So in terms of cutting your losers short, like it's really just closing your trade at your stop loss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, last question, anybody?
Oh yeah, can I ask a question real quick? Yeah. Could you go to EU real quick? Oh yeah. I think like. Do you have any tips when drawing 4-hour levels? Because I think sometimes I just like overthink it, like, and then I have too many zones, and then like I be entering at the wrong place.
Bro, I mean, it's like the same thing as like I told the last guy. You just gotta look for the main turning points, and you draw your level on the main turning point. So if I were to go 4-hour here in EU, what I would look at is okay. Well, we have where are my main turning points within this entire price action range, right? We have this area right here, and then we look at current relevant price action. We have pretty much this area that's already marked off right here. So this is all I'm going to pay attention to right now. Unless price breaks above this area, then I'll tell myself, okay, well, where's my next main turning point? We can definitely argue that it's probably around this area right here.
Would you classify that as a 4-hour level? Like, go down a little bit more.
Right here?
Yeah, with those two, like when those two to the left, right there.
I put it right here.
Okay. All right.
That's just me, though. Me and you both have different eyes, so we're both going to see different things. You may be more accurate. I may be more accurate. You know, we're two different people, so we're going to see things from different perspectives.
Okay, got you.
Do you mark 30 minutes up?
No.
Okay. Well, one thing. So as price action goes and you react to price, do you move your levels ever a little bit? Like if you see that price can, like, for example, you have like this level over.
Only when price.
You get what I'm saying?
Only when price breaks my levels. So like how gold broke above my levels here, I'm going to draw new ones. I'm going to draw ones into the future where we could see price travel, but I'm going to leave these down here just in case price does want to come back down into here.
Okay, because like for example, like I move sometimes like my areas, but sometimes I feel like they'll be more accurate if I move it to like a certain area instead of it being like it's not much of a difference. It'll be like a pip or two of difference, but still, since it's like I feel like for it to be more accurate, you have to put it there and not just like mentally put it in your head.
Yeah, you want to draw them out always.
All right, Baby man, sorry for the last question.
Yeah, no, you're good, bro. Oh, all right. So,
Bro, I have one question.